Starting point, and at this section, on top of this machine. Because now as a country, we feel that improving the we are looking at improving the quality of coffee. Our coffee has not been doing well at the international level because we have been handling it before. So at this stage, what we want to do is that we must wash the coffee. We must wash the coffee. Therefore, then it's not the work of water. The money is red. They want to talk about for a small quantity. Just one out some people like
so we said the farmer later
So this is the first of its kind. Then we can move here, but you excuse us, we are still under construction. Hello. So this is a stage where, as Ugandans, we have been stopping. Ate mwanyi zile zivudde eri mu balimi tuzitwala mu byuma ne tusunsula ne tujja kwa kakuta ne tutwala wa bana ba Kyagulanyi wa command what ne bagradinga ne bakala sortinga and they take it for export. So as a country of Uganda, we have been stopping here. So in this department, for us we call it African department. When we go up there, when we what we call coffee value addition shall be starting from their side. So katinge gwanga lina twade tukoma wano emwanyi bazijje kuchuma ne bazitwala e Kampala ne bazipima ne bazigradinga ne bakuba mu kakutiya ne batwala ebweru mu bazungu engepeke nga sinse ne bazitwala ebweru. Kano oluganga lubadde tukoma. So naffe wano twali badde nga twakitandika dda, but it's not our idea. It's not what we want. We want to have instant coffee, we want to have cold brew, we want to have each and everything. So kiba kirungi nnyo ng'eggwanga bwe tuba nga tuvudde wano ne tugenda eri waggulu. So that's what we are doing. Value addition. Kati mmanyi bwe zijja akati wano tuyinza oba nga tukola ku tani nga 10,000 tons.
10,000 tons?
Yes, within per week. Kati kitegeeza nti mmanyi bwe tuba nga tuziteekaawo zigenda muli mu machines ezo waliwo kye tuyita grading. The grading from screen 18, screen 15, and screen 12. Emwanyi ziba tezenkana. Waliwo gy'osanga nti emwanyi ebadde nnungi naye mu nnimiro yafuna obulwadde. Naye n'ekeepinga shape naye nga munda teriimu erihoro. Ati kye twagala kukola awo twagala tuzigyemu zibeere mu grade emu. Ekyokubiri bwe zivaawo tuzitwala wali mu mashini eriko bagiyita color sorter. We are sorting them. Eyinza okuba nga emwanyi wagijja mu nnimiro ng'ennungi naye n'osanga nti efunyemu obuzibu eri black, twagala naye okugijjamu tubeere n'emmwanyi nga ziri ku level emu. Emashini egyolaba eya color sorter waliwo abakyalidde abaali mu kwera bagamba nti okwera okuwewa, something like that. So that machine can do omulimu gw'abakyala 1000 gwe bakola mu ssaawa 5. So that also we shall be having something done in the right way. So it is being done by, I think the engineer was here who was working on it, but this machine is very ready to start. One, emwanyi sobola oginoga naye you harvest very well, but again mukugikeepinga oba n'ekirala mukugyanika. You see, we have a challenge as a country that Europeans told us that coffee is a cash crop. But when you go up into other countries, European countries, they tell you coffee is a beverage. Kyakunywa, kyakulya. Kyobola bakati ffe emwanyi wano muzifungula ne bagamba ziteekaawo mu mbuga n'ozisuulaawo mu ttaka, but this is food. So in terms of arranging it, ojja zituusa wano nga ne quantity tekyalimu.
So kitegeeza nti mu kuzinoga
tetulina
zaanika nga bweyanika mu ttaka.
That is food.
Twalawo nga ayalira
ekyokulya, entundubaali, n'ozikipinga bulungi. That's why our coffers have been participating very well into the national market. So twagala tubiveemu ebyo byonna tufune emwanyi ennungi. So we can proceed.
abategesi wali
So these are our stores where we shall be keeping some of the coffee that has just arrived.
These are stores?
Yes. Storage. We shall keeping where coffee that has arrived. We are also putting their silos, keep them because it doesn't need to have a direct sun and other things. So we take this route. Ambrose, where are you? Extraction. Can I find you at the roastery? Please, we are entering. So we are coming here. So here is Mr. Ambrose. He's our production engineer. And these are Ugandans who are being trained. And I think he will be the one to take us through this system and how it works. Please.
You are very much welcome. My name is Ambrose Rwashamire. I'm the production engineer in Inspire Africa. Here we are inside the roastery line. This is where we do the roasting of coffee. You can feel the aroma already. So the incoming coffee is the green bean after dry milling. Yeah, sure. So this is the incoming coffee, the raw material we're using here. This is after dry milling and drying.
This is already dry.
Yes,
This is
already dry, ready for roasting.
It doesn't look like the one they sell for eating.
No. You will see it in front. Yes. So when we bring it in here, this is our collection area. This is our hooper, we power it in here. And then we have a Z loader that takes it for storage. What you see, these are storage bins.
Okay.
Yes. So we store it here so that we have constant supply of coffee during roasting.
Oh.
Yes.
So all these are
Storage bins, there are 6 of them. These are for storage. Then after,
You need to hurry up for them to go to the lake.
so after we have a control panel that controls the release of coffee from these bins. Okay. So we have a weight bridge, you weigh how much you need for each batch, and then you send it in to this hooper, which takes it to the Z loader, bring the coffee out to the restaurant.
Maybe more thing on this is that now here you can say this coffee from Cyril, this 5 was from Bebe, the other one was from YK,
Oh.
the other one was from PRU,
So you are able to load. You can load each
each region
region.
Yes, separate.
separately. Yes, and you process each region
And you
separately.
can process. So meaning that when you release, you can choose to release from one.
Exactly.
Oh.
So after we bring down the coffee for us, here we have a 240 kg capacity roaster. So every batch you roast 240 kilograms of coffee.
240
Kilograms
kilograms
of
of coffee.
Yes.
Which one? The 250, the other one, or 250, the mashed one?
No. The incoming raw material you
So
saw.
here you get 250.
And 240.
240 is
Yes.
the one that comes here.
Yes. You bring it, you load it into that hooper. So from here you put this stuff here is a drum. Underneath the drum we have a burner that collects a flame which uses gas. LPG gas, then you burn it. You burn the drum. When you burn the drum, it now burns the coffee. Okay. Yes. So here we do 45 minutes. Okay. For 240 kg.
So 240 kgs is
45 minutes, you have it ready. Depending on the kind of roast you need. You have the light, you have the medium, then you have the dark roast.
making the strength of
The
the
strength
coffee.
of the coffee.
Oh.
Yes. So after burning the coffee, after roasting it at the maximum roast level, and we call it a profile, you bring it for cooling. So what you see here is for cooling, is a cooler. We have 2 blowers on either side, bring in cold air. So you put in a coffee and then you keep
Spinning.
Yes, you spin the coffee as you cool it.
But it is still in this kind of form.
Yeah, it is still just roasted beans.
So
Yes,
this is
it's
the
still a
roasted
bean.
bean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So when you cool here for 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
After cooling, now you bring the coffee because
Maybe before you go the other side, is that this is the biggest in Africa.
Oh. Nice.
So
Sebo,
what they need to know,
you working?
what the country need to know is that
This cloud. Abe. I fully need everyone on full concentration for this information. Abe. I need everyone to get this information. This is so crucial.
So what I want to explain is that what the country need to know, this is the biggest in Africa. So the second one is in Tanzania.
The second biggest or
The second biggest. But the first biggest is this one in Uganda. Actually, as a country, we have been roasting, because in Kampala, where people have been roasting some coffee at a small, maybe as a small business. But as a country, we've been able to be exporting around 3 containers per week. But this will be able to be roasting around 15 containers per week.
so we have been only exporting about
3 containers per week.
with the small roast.
With the small roast, they
that
have,
we've been having.
exactly, people have roasters in their homes, in their coffee shops. But now this has a capacity of having 15 containers per week.
So that is 3 times.
3 times.
3 times what we have.
What we have been having in the country.
But it is the biggest in Africa.
The biggest in Africa.
That's a very strong point.
Yes.
Because most times people will wonder why we must be proud of our own country. Maybe it's because people are fighting because they don't have information.
Okay. So after roasting and cooling, we bring the coffee for destoning. Destoning here. Here we are removing the foreign particles and the stones that have been left in the coffee during the pre-cleaning. So we don't want to take anything that is a waste from this coffee. So we remove all the stones from this, and then we load the coffee for another process. So this is the same roaster as different capacities, but the same.
Oh,
This is a
so
small,
the smaller one.
that's a bigger. This one does 60 kgs every 40 minutes. 45 minutes. So after that, we bring the coffee into these silos. So now these hold the roasted beans.
Okay.
So after roasting, you load into this and store. Yes. Then from here, you are able to do different things. You can grind the coffee. These are the grinders.
Oh, this is a
From here,
grinder.
up that end, this is the grinding line. So you can grind here 40 to 110 kgs, depending on the size you need, the mesh size, because you are able to control from here
So the size.
the size of the coffee.
So is that you grind to the fine or
coarse or in between
so that's
fine and
why
coarse.
sometimes some coffee
Has
is
this
solid,
yeah, exactly.
and then the other is
Is now a fine powder.
okay.
So it depends on how you have set your grinders to grind that kind of coffee.
Okay.
So we grind the coffee, or we can pack the roasted beans. If you have been to these other countries,
Yes.
people like taking the kind of roasted beans. So you can pack it using that machine.
Non-stop.
Yes. We have also
The backup and everything.
Yes. Wow.
So you don't stop in electricity.
We are not supposed to stop here.
Good.
So this is the machine. It's a machine from Turkey. It does part 1 kg of roasted beans.
It cuts specifically
Roasted beans.
roasted.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Specifically roasted beans.
1 kg.
1 kg.
So is it adjustable to
Yeah,
pack
yes.
any-
1 kg and 250 grams.
Okay.
Yes, depending on the client is.
So we already have this on. Do we have this on the market? Because I see Inspire Africa Coffee already.
It is not yet in the market.
But this is sample.
This is a
for
sample
production.
for production. Exactly.
Oh.
So what you see here, this is a valve. As we pack, we put in a valve for preservation to allow aeration, so that it doesn't.
Oh.
Yes, so you can be able to feel it and also feel the aroma. Yes. Yeah, even the aroma you're able to feel.
Oh. So also the
The
grinded
ground
one.
coffee is also packed differently.
Okay.
So we have
So the grinding area.
Where is that tag you were talking about?
So I was
Majenzi,
meaning,
this one is from
so I was meaning that now we can say it's like African
Ntugamo
Ntugamo.
district. No, Ntugamo is where it was done.
Yeah, it was done.
Yeah, but
So that's what we are
from
meaning.
this farmer.
That's what we are meaning, that if it is from either from Bebe, then we tag in.
Or you tag
Yes,
like
we tag. Or we can have this kind of packing. We pack for you, only yours.
Okay. Then
Inspire Africa coffee from Bebe's farm.
After here, I come tour again with you. Give me an interview. I get good in the process.
Okay. Okay.
1 hour, you're able to pack 1,800. Oh,
So now this is the kawa.
kawa kaka no.
Already we are on vari addition. The vari is already there. Because we are from the other side, now we have added value addition. So this one you can able to be export, but we haven't reached the final products because we're going for instant coffee.
Oh, so even with this, we haven't yet
Reached at the instant coffee.
at the final one.
At the
that
final
I
one.
want.
Yes.
Yet now this is what we can consume already on the market.
Exactly. That's what we have
As
been
we
consuming.
cook chai,
Exactly.
the normal. But then now we are adding on value.
Value.
And that's what you call now instant.
Instant
One way we
coffee.
are going is instant.
Exactly. That quickly dissolve within the water. And you cannot see the residue.
Oh,
And as a country, we have not been doing that one. In Africa, actually, we are not doing instant coffee.
so where in Africa? So you want to say that in Africa there's no one doing instant coffee?
There's nobody
So instant coffee is going to begin here in Uganda.
in Uganda. Yeah, in Uganda. With the vision of the president.
That is very, very important information. Sure. And how much is possibly this? This is 250 grams.
Yeah, 250 grams.
Sold at how much?
Costing hasn't been yet done.
The costing hasn't yet been done.
Yes. Okay. Yes, but they are on
Because we want
the
to,
pipeline to do that.
we want to compare.
Yes.
Like I would want to know, like if I had 100 kilograms of beans
Yes.
after sorting,
Yeah.
how much, if, because before we were exporting them as beans, I want to know if we add value to it. For example, if 100 kgs were 100,000, how much more money do we make after adding value? That is very, very important.
Very important.
Can I take this route? It's fine, I'll take it.
Before the mixer, it should be able to do that different blending. In case you need to mix different blends of coffee, you have Arabica, maybe 150% Arabica.
Twakuletera abagenyi.
Namba yo. Iko kwa step chairman wa district.
Ntugamo. Okay.
Just put it on top of the cup. Oh, who has a cup? Tea bag. A tea bag. You don't drop it in the cup. You put it on top of the cup.
So remember, you used to have tea bags. Now this is a coffee bag. Then you pour water.
So you press on your cup, you pour in the hot water,
Oh,
and then you raise it.
and it seeds.
Yes.
Oh, so this one works as a seed,
Exactly.
and then these are handles that sit on top of the cup.
Exactly.
Like the coffee machine, they have this soup, but you have to remove it and wash it.
So when you get your hot water, you open on the top, you put on the cup, you pour water here, so you get
About your pot. Clean one without any.
Uganda on the move. First time.
Hello. Is it operation? Hello.
So this is a training session.
Yeah, these are Chinese working on it, and this is the gentleman.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Fine.
Nice
How
to
are
meet
you?
you.
Thank you for the good job.
Welcome.
These
We are
guys
trying.
these
We are
guys are
pushing.
teaching you.
I'm their translator.
Oh, you're the translator.
Yeah, I do the translation for them and help you so that we can see what progressing very fast.
So you can inform them to greet our ambassador.
Hello. Hello. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Good. You're learning. Hello. Okay, let us let you up.
This line does packing of capsules.
I think it's when I wanted this content.
Okay? This is a capsule.
So the capsules.
So you put in your coffee, then you can always use this.
So
So cup and then
and we have these machines where we put the cups and you put on the cup. Yes.
so each can hold 5 grams of coffee powder. So we pack them in this box and each can hold 10.
I'm going to go back.
So we are, so we are producing this one. So other side is our packaging area.
So the other one is
Is a packaging area where we shall be having the final product packaging, and we offer them and go.
it looks like you've made ways
Exactly.
of
How-
maybe inside vehicles or something
Exactly.
to carry.
So now we can go to extraction.
So this project really has been going on for
Yeah.
quite some time.
So this is a process that actually starts the manufacture of instant coffee.
This
right
process,
here.
that's the manufacturing of instant coffee.
So once you do roasting and grind, we have a specific mesh size we use for this. We grind them to 4 sizes. Between you have fine, then between fine and coarse, then you have the coarse, a little bigger particles. So we bring them in here for extraction. So what we do in extraction is you are getting all the soluble coffee compounds out into a liquor and then leaving out the residues. So we bring in the coffee and then we put into these extractors, you see. We feed in the coffee from the roasting and grinding, then you come and feed it in here. Then you mix in water, cold water, normal water, low water, but treated, of course, because you are going to consume this. Then you heat the mixture with steam. We have steam lines coming in, feeding into these chambers. After heating to about 270 degrees Celsius, very high temperature, because we have serious heat exchangers up here. So when you heat the mixture, when you heat, you increase solubility of the coffee compounds. So they all get soluble into the water. So you have the spent coffee, what you spare out as the residue, and you have the coffee liquor, which you now need for your other processes. So this liquor is now is coffee and then water, but you don't need the water. You need to remove the water, which is another step we're going to see. Because after here you extract, you have your liquor, now you send it to the other process. Yes.
It's always talking of coffee. Well, let us do it from there, then we'll go for the freeze dry.
So when we get the liquor, we have a line to have a pipeline. After filtration, we bring it into that. There we have evaporators. Okay. So what we are evaporating is water out of the coffee. We remove all the water and then we remain with the coffee, which is now soluble solids of coffee. So from here we have 15% of coffee, then this side, now that we have removed water, we have 40 to 50%, which means we have increased the concentration of coffee and reduced the water in the coffee. So after concentrating, see, we have a bigger chamber here, right from down up top. So what this chamber does is, it does heat this coffee and dry it into powder. The concentrate you get from here, you now dry it to powder. You inject it, you bring in too much heat, you introduce too much heat, then you instantly dry this into powder, and then you can collect it as your instant coffee. Yes.
Naturally, actually want it.
Yes, please.
To Mr. Piao, as NRM's manifesto each year, it's about job opportunities and employment.
Yes.
So far, how many people do you employ here? And how many are you going to employ when all this is done?
On the whole project, because the project, what you see here is half, because there is also the farming, isn't it?
Yes.
Where do you base?
Oh.
Like, is it going to be Ntugamo, Western, Eastern, or everywhere?
You see, the reason why we called it coffee park, you see, when you have gone into other countries, you don't need to know that this is in Ntugamo, this is something. No, Africa Coffee Park. We have a challenge in this country that people legalize everything, take something into regional, tribal, politicizing, but this is Africa Coffee Park. In terms of recruiting, we have a company that has been hiring for us, a very suitable company, hiring for us. All these engineers, they went through that and they're here. Secondly, we are expecting to be having around 3,000 employees when we are done, because we have a lot of experience to be doing here. We have an academy putting up there, we have a coffee farm there, we have other things coming out. So we shall be employing other things. When we are moving the other side at the roastery, you saw some gentlemen who were there, but like 5 boys. Those were interns from Kahaya Institute, and we have also 5 that were from Chambogo. They came as an intern, they were working with these Chinese and the Indians. They learned things, we had to employ them. So now they are our masters. So we must employ Ugandans, we must employ people with capability to perform.
I also have one question on the end stage of what you're doing here. The people who are opposed to this project, one of the arguments they put forward is that this work which you are doing here is typically done by people in Europe. That market is strongly controlled and that they would never allow an African entity to come in and push itself into a market like Europe. So could you tell us what is your market strategy? What's your primary market focus? How do you... Are you going to have a situation where you are doing this work and you just can't find the market for what is coming out of it?
We know that one. Of course, as Africans have been giving them raw material and we have been getting little money. Because as the world is getting around $400,000, the world, but America and Germany are the ones that are getting biggest share on that on the biggest money that we get. So they don't grow, they don't have coffee trees, but they're getting a big share because they're having instant coffee and others. So as a country of Uganda, now we're also focusing on that one. How can we add value on that? Because you see, people who have cows, in the rainy season, milk goes low, the prices. But you never go into the supermarket and they tell you that Nido now has also reduced the prices. Because already the value is there. So we are saying, why can't we add value on our coffee? We have made the contracts with the other countries. Russia, the biggest. We have also Italy, Turkey. Actually, that technology was given up by the Turkish. We have Southern Sudan and Northern Sudan. We shall be giving them a lot of coffees.
And I think also to add on that, now, that's what calls for patriotism, looking for the market. That's why the president is saying, let us teach Ugandans first to consume the coffee. Let us be the first client for the coffee. Then we go to Congo. That's why the president is building a road to Congo, so that things like our coffee can be sold to Congo. South Sudan, make sure that South Sudan is peaceful, so that we can sell that same coffee. So before we think about going to Europe and America, we can create a big market within Africa. And that finally brings us to the Pan-Africanism that the president is always talking about. Now, these things are very connected. Most people think that when they talk about Pan-Africanism, or when the president is always encouraging, that kind of unity, the purpose is so that we can find market within each other. So that's why, for me, my biggest interest is to move with you, the media personalities, and I also want you to understand that concept. It's not a point of just moving, but to understand. Because when Nelson was told to teach people how to drink coffee, you remember the backlash that came. How can you put money into teaching people to drink coffee? But then the question that you asked is the answer why. To find the market.
Actually, we had an argument of recently. Honorable Rwashamire was saying, the president, that Isingiro produces around 20 lorries of bananas to Kampala every day. But as they reach, they pass Mbarara, another 10 of alcohol enters. It means that what people have earned is also going out. But now, are those people also eating that kind of food? Are they eating matoke? So as Ugandans, we know also to take coffee. Because today, Americans in the morning, they have taken a lot of coffee. They might have taken coffee of around 900,000 USD in the morning. But for us here, we're not taking. But the biggest thing is that we have the other problem within us, that coffee is a cash crop. You do everything to sell without mining. So can proceed to the freeze dry and
when I took coffee in the morning.
yeah, every morning.